Welcome to Eat Sleep Code, the official Telerik podcast. We could talk a little bit about evolving GitHub issues, the public beta. What's going on with GitHub these days, John?
Lots and lots of things. It's great to see, stuff evolve over time, and issues is no exception. So I love posts like this, especially the ones that come from GitHub, where they kind of share often and early some of the things that they're working on. So issues are kind of like the lifeblood of any project or repo that you have hosted up on GitHub.
Mhm.
And there are new innovations that are being added. You can opt into the beta to take advantage of these. So basically, it's a laundry list of what's new. So the first one is break down and nest issues with sub issues. So sub issues allow you to
Like
break
it.
things down even further, which is awesome.
Organize your work with issue types.
Yes. So basically, providing an enumeration of work types that you may want to work against, etc. All these are by the way, are underpinned by some of the research that's gone into some of these things. So if you're wanting to manage issue types across an organization, this is a good way of providing a taxonomy of issue types. Allows you to define them quickly, and you can define these across your organization, which is great. Give it a name, give it a code, give it a description, things like that. So issue types are really, some examples might be things like, this is a task or a bug or a feature. It's just a way of classifying these things in a uniform way.
UI updates. It's all good stuff. I was actually in some issues this week working. I like in particular when these types are also backed by good templates. So I was working with
Yeah.
the Playwright GitHub repo, asking some questions in there. So I wanted to post an issue that I knew wasn't a bug. And what's nice is if you have templates set up, um, you can click new issue and give kind of prompts where what I was able to do. There was a prompt for a bug report, and there was a prompt for requesting documentation, which was more like what I was
Okay.
doing. So you're able to ask questions and put in issues without messing with the developer pipeline of like fixing bugs and that sort of thing. I like that. All of these little nuanced things they add to GitHub issues makes it just so much easier to organize problems and prioritize work that you're doing in your applications. So love this stuff.
Yeah, a feature that not a lot of people take advantage of, and Thindle on the comment section mentions the project thing. Projects are a type that aren't mentioned
Mhm.
a lot in conversations with people. Most people think of a project as a repo, and that's not the same thing. Projects are a management feature in GitHub that a lot of people don't know about. You can just turn it on, and allows you to create swim lanes, allows you to organize your tasks. It's very much akin to some of the other task management solutions out there, Jira, for example. They allow you to basically uh, have a meta description of work that needs to be done against a repo
Yeah.
or repos.
I always forget it's there for my own stuff. I don't own any projects that are that big or any repos that are that big to use projects, but I've seen it used pretty effectively on some other ones. But yeah, that taxonomy is always a pain. Like we call GitHub repos
Yes,
projects, but the projects feature is more like a project management feature that's enabled
yes.
through the GitHub repo. So naming things is hard.
It is, and I think GitHub's moving in the right direction here. They're moving more towards a world of defining things at an organizational basis. So most recently, they added the ability to have a CI/CD worker permission type, which is great. They're doing things like this around um, issue types, etc. I think that they're moving up the stack now into more organizational, cross-functional sort of things, which is great to see.
Speaking of new things, we've got a new version of Chrome out, new in Chrome
Woohoo!
130. And they update Chrome quite often, so they're
Really?
it's one of the evergreen
Sorry.
browsers that's out there. So there's always something new coming. But this one in particular, I thought was kind of cool
Yes.
because they have this new document picture in picture feature. And I don't know if you've seen
Yeah,
picture-in-picture before with Chrome,
I have.
but, I may be able to trigger it with this video player. Let me see if I can do this. Is this one of the things that supports picture-in-picture? It does not. Maybe I have to be on the actual YouTube website for that to work. Let me see.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
I
I don't use it. I'm either all focused or
Yeah,
not
I
at
can't
all.
get it to trigger here either. But what picture-in-picture does is, um, you can pull up a small window within the browser that kind of floats. So it will take the element out of the browser and put it in this floating widget. And you could do that with video content. And you would see it on some video websites. I could have swore YouTube had it enabled, but I couldn't get it to work just now. But essentially, if you wanted to watch this video and still be able to scroll through the document, you can enable this picture-in-picture mode, and what you'll get is like a floating,
Yes.
maybe I have to be in Chrome, I'm in Edge. Um, but you press a little button and it pops out that video player and, detaches it from the place where it's in line in the markup. So you can move it anywhere you want on not only within the browser, but I think you can push it outside, like onto another desktop, whatever. It's just kind of this free floating widget at that point. And what they did is they updated that API to do more than just video. So it used to just be, MP4, content. Now you can do kind of like it's almost like its own browser window. So it says document picture in picture, but in the sense of document, it's a HTML document, not like a PDF or something like that you're popping out. So
Gotcha.
document in this
Yeah.
context is
Yeah.
an HTML browser pretty much that you're able to pop out and create like a app widget type of a situation where they use Spotify as an example here, where you might open the Spotify app and then you get prompted with this little picture-in-picture button. You click it, and the website pops out this little minified player that you can move around your desktop and set aside somewhere and continue browsing. Change pages, go, and you still have your little Spotify player that's popped out. So it's kind of a new functionality for the web that's kind of old. What's old is new again. We used to have this type of stuff a long
Right.
time ago. Kind of the Spotify pop out app kind of reminds me of the old the what's that called? Winamp. Like we need like a million Winamp skins now for this little Spotify app.
Sure.
But it, just kind of enables those little minified app widgets that you can bring out and put around your desktop. Get another web notification. These are a little bit more than a notification, but the API for it seems like it's pretty easy. You do this function call that's promised to get this new document. So, you've got an HTML document now that you can add your components to, and then you just append whatever you want to it. So it's pretty free form at that point. You can just put whatever you'd like in there. So it's kind of a niche thing, but it's still kind of cool. I like it. And I thought I'd share the
I like it.
update that enabled that. That was on Chrome. I don't know about the other browsers if they're following suit with that API yet. So I don't know how widely adopted it is, but usually if Chrome does it, the rest of the folks are shortly implementing things after them. What's
Okay.
new in System.Text.Json in .NET 9? This sounds like some flashy, exciting stuff.
Well, everyone uses JSON these days, so I saw this, it piqued my interest. I think that anything that is an innovation here beyond performance is going to be a good thing. Right off the bat, the one that jumps out at me is the JSON schema exporter. I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. So the JSON schema exporter is a new class that you can use in .NET 9 and allows you to basically extract the schema from a JSON fragment or document that you have into the .NET equivalent types. So this is really, really important, especially when you want to understand structure or you've got this random document you want to have a type safe manner in which you can actually parse this thing, that the JSON schema exporter class will now allow you to do that, which is
I love how
fantastic.
we came full circle
It
with this
is,
stuff. It's like XML was too
why?
hard. It had schemas. It was a pain. Let's go do
Yes.
JSON. Now JSON has schemas.
Well, dude, everything's a string. I mean, how, it's
Yeah.
not easy, right? So yeah, we need something better.
Yeah. We
So
we essentially like dropped one standard for another because it was easier and didn't have schemas though. And now we have schemas again. It's just kind of funny how we do that in development all the time. Like we always
right.
recycle these things.
Uh,
But it is helpful to be able to just generate these things from um, an object rather than manually sit here and try to figure out what it is if it's not already defined for you. So I like the method. It's good stuff. Let's see what else we have.
there's also a new feature in under the banner of streaming multiple
There we
JSON
go.
documents. So the UTF-8 JSON reader now supports reading multiple white space separated JSON documents from a single buffer or stream. Now the I don't know. I never faced this scenario, but the idea is that if I just separate it via white space, I've got two
Mhm.
documents there. I guess that will work. Typically, they're in two separate files, but gives you that ability to basically combine them together and then read them as a multiple
Nice.
document.
You don't always have control over where you receive data from.
No,
So it's nice to have all the
nope.
tools you can get to dissect those things.
Yep, yep. Some other features: support for nullable annotations, respecting them, and the processing of JSON
Nice.
docs. There's other things as well, respecting non-optional construction parameters. This is all in the sort of JSON framework that's available in .NET 9 going forward. Other things as well, but the two big ones for me were those one. You can also, interestingly, there's a new feature in the JSON object property order. Typically, when you process a JSON document, you have what's called a JSON object, and this is part of the mutable DOM that you have exposed, and now you can actually change the order of the properties in which they reside. That is part of
It's
that process.
interesting what's mentioned here in limitations. So it looks like some of the necessity for this null operator has to do with serialization, and it's not just with .NET, but .NET's a big one, where you have
No,
these
yes,
nullable types, and there's things that can happen when you enable nullability in your C# code.
yes, of course.
And on some of the POCOs that you have, plain class objects that you have, if you annotate certain fields with the null operator, that question mark, sometimes JSON serialization can be broken. And you can imagine fix some of those instances with this null operator here. If you own both ends of the pipeline, sometimes it just is a matter of making sure the serialization is happening the same on the client as it is on the server. But when you don't own both ends of those things and fields start disappearing or coming through null, then deserializing those can be a problem sometimes. It looks like this fixes some of that,
Yep,
but it still has issues with like collections that have nullable types in them. Because I guess it's hard to differentiate between a field as a single value that's null and a collection that doesn't have, that is also like full of null values. So it looks like there's,
comes down to that age-old problem of
yeah.
defining what is null. Is it uninitialized? Is it you know truly null? Is it an empty
I mean, if you go
string?
back to
So how do you
schema
represent null?
again and
Yeah.
think about like, I think this one is a properties name. No, this one I think is an array. If you have the schema, you can see it a little bit better. But when you represent everything as a string, if something is a null value or an array that's completely null, you can't really tell those two things apart because they're both just a, s- a string with a field name and then nothing but null after it. So I think that might
Yep.
might be what this is talking about. I'm possibly oversimplifying because I just read this post. I'm not an
No,
expert
I
now,
didn't
but
read. The big thing here is that this is utilizing
Mhm.
JSON schema. So JSON schema, I remember back in the day when I was looking into JSON schema, it was like this kind of sort of thing that people were using. Now it's this full-fledged thing. So JSON, if you go to json-schema.org, it will detail the specification behind it. And so the fact that we're utilizing this, pushing this standard forward, I
yeah,
think is a good thing.
it is a good thing. It helps eliminate some of those problems we just talked about, gets some of the headaches out of the way. There was a link to that schema uh, website in the document as well.
Yeah, there it
So you
is.
can go
Yep.
there if you want to learn more about it. Inside Argo, automating the future official documentary trailer. What's this documentary about exactly, John? Is this a joke thing or is this like a
This
real
got
deal thing? What is
publicized.
this? Is it satire or no?
So this got published.
Oh, okay.
No, no. This got published to the CNCF YouTube channel earlier today, and I knew that this was coming. This is an Argo documentary that's going to be announced, and it's announced, but it's going to be released at KubeCon, and this is the trailer behind it. We've got some folks from Octopus
Oh,
Deploy in
okay.
this. There's Paul, who's the CEO. He's the CEO and co-founder of Octopus Deploy. But basically, it's going to be a really interesting documentary to watch around how Argo came to be, why it came to be, the people behind it, etc. For those who aren't aware, Argo is a long-standing project. It's basically the ability to manage uh, your Kubernetes clusters in a safe and sane way, for lack of a better term. So we're a contributor to it, and the Argo project's been under development for quite a while. It's actually a set of mini projects. So there's Argo workflows, Argo CD, Argo rollouts, Argo, all kinds of things. So most people typically think of Argo when they think of Argo CD, which is basically a continuous delivery tool. But Argo and all its macerations, etc., is all about managing your deployments to Kubernetes clusters, whether they're through a Canary or Blue Green development pattern. There's also a thing called Argo events as well. This is if you're utilizing dependencies within context of Kubernetes, etc. So it's a massive project. It's used by thousands and thousands of companies. And this documentary, which will be talked about at KubeCon coming up, I think it's November 12th to the 15th in Salt Lake City. We will be there. So
Nice.
definitely worth checking out.
I was able to get that picture-in-picture feature working, by the way. It did manage to pop out.
Hey, there you go.
I don't know why it wasn't showing earlier, but it showed up in this video. And
See, we've come full circle, Ed. See, that's why I think doing it this
notice I
way
can
was the right
change
way.
the tab in the background and it still keeps the video playing on the surface.
Okay.
So this is super helpful. Like I have a
Yeah,
second
not gonna use
monitor,
this.
so if I have a
Not
YouTube
gonna use
video
this.
going, I don't have to like take the tab and detach it and move it to the other screen. I can pop this out
Yes, because
and
that's
move it
so
off. I
hard.
still have
That is so hard,
context
Ed.
of this, or I can do one of these type of things and I can float it kind of down in the corner. So that was the idea behind that Chrome update was that you can do this with little applets instead of just videos that are playing. And then when you click the button, it snaps it back into the tab where it came out of. So that it retains that context without having
Wonderful.
to kind of like pop the browser off and move it around and all of that stuff.
If I can get a video wall capability for all I would love it to have a video wall of like my sports, Twitch streams, YouTube, all this sort of stuff. I would love something like that. If that is supported, then
Oh,
that'd be
you know what
awesome.
could do that, John? It's a VR headset. You can have virtual
Shut up.
video wall floating around in your room with you
Shut
everywhere you look.
up. Who is
Still
this
not
prank
sold.
caller?
Still not sold. All right. This is an announcement from the Google, or sorry, Meta large language model team, and this is a really interesting code generator. It says generate an entire app from a prompt using Together AI's LlamaCoder. So this is an app that was built by the Together AI team. And if you want to try it out, the URL is, let's see, is it right here? It's llamacoder.together.ai. And you can come in here, John.
Rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, you could say any app idea. What do we have for app ideas, John? Build me
Um, fart app.
a what? Oh,
Fart
I thought
app.
I heard you correctly. I was like art or fart.
Fart.
What does it do?
Let's build a fart app.
Has
What do you think it does
10 buttons that
for different
play
types of farts?
different things. Way to
This is
take
the
the high
true
road,
test of any good.
John.
This is the true test of any good framework, Ed. Yeah. Can you build a fart app? Forget the to-do list. We're going with fart
Oh
apps.
wow. Okay, well let's see where this goes.
Does it have
It does
sound?
not have sound.
Oh.
It does not.
What are those
It
names? I can't
has
read
it
them.
has MP3s listed, but I think that's just AI being AI. I wrote or I had it generate this one either or earlier. We can never decide on dinner around our house. So I told it create a random dinner suggestion app that acts
Okay.
like a slot machine with 3 wheels, and when you spin it,
Okay.
it gives you 3 main categories that are linked: a nationality, a main dish, and a side dish. So you click spin, and this is what you're having for dinner tonight. We're having Italian. It's gonna be pasta with a side of roasted vegetables. If you don't like that, you can spin again. And, Chinese wonton soup and salad. I don't know what this
Chinese
is,
wonton
but
soup and salad? And salad.
alright, let's do it again. You sound like my kids, John. Tempura and
And
miso soup.
salad? Soup and salad?
Those are side dishes. How clever do you want this to be?
Yes,
AI
exactly.
wrote it
It's
in,
not a
like,
dinner.
3 seconds. I mean,
Soup isn't a meal. I'm gonna go all Seinfeld on you.
it's
Come on.
it's not as useful as your app that does not play sounds.
Hey, fart apps are just as important. People need fart
So that's
apps.
llamacoder.together.ai, and all of our jobs are now obsolete. Uh, Not quite. It's cute. I don't know how practical it is. I did, try to extend, the workflow's pretty nice because you can keep working,
Can you do me a favor? Let's try something here.
Sure.
Can we code up AdventureWorks or Contoso or something to that ilk?
Jeez, that's,
Would like to see what it
how about
spits out.
this? I've got one. Ready, John? You ready for it? I got the perfect
Can it
question
play
to ask.
Doom? A Doom clone? Hey, build a browser-based Doom that utilizes uh, Ed's head for monsters.
I don't think it'll understand Ed's head, but,
Okay.
uh,
Yeah, just try that. Just try a browser-based Doom clone. Okay, emojis. Yes, good. Yeah, characters. Perfect. Love it.
let's see what it does. Oh, I see.
Oh, geez.
Player, enemy, bullet. We've got, coordinates being loaded in.
This is all fair and good, but what's
Looks
the
like it's
rendering
generating
engine gonna
game
look like?
loop. Oh. Oh.
Oh yeah, yeah, perfect, perfect. I knew
Um,
this was gonna happen. What is this, Pong?
yeah, this is everybody's first app they wrote in
Oh
computer
yeah, yeah,
science
yeah,
class.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna go outside the
Yep.
bounding box. That's not good. This is totally Doom.
Nope.
Wait,
Yes.
can
Oh,
I?
you can see
Oh,
it.
like I can fire
Yes.
fire a bullet. Or
Does it have the ASDW
I can't kill
support?
the enemy, but
Oh, too bad.
my score is just going up by the second.
AI, ladies and gentlemen, AI. Here we go.
Yeah. So there's that, and then you could publish the app in case anybody wants to try this.
Oh, of course. Why
Yeah.
wouldn't you?
So
Let's ship it.
so there's our
It compiles. Ship it.
there's our Doom game. Um, Feel free to have at it there. Oh, and it's made in
Nice.
React. That was a useful um, implementation of React. Speaking of React, I don't have a segue. I'm sorry. I wish I did. I wish there was a clever way to get out of this, but there is none.
Yeah.
Shameless
Here
plug.
you
How
go.
about shameless plug? We'll go straight into the shameless
Sure.
plug. Um,
Okay.
we'll figure out the segue later. Uh, something AI isn't for generating applications, so we still have a job and we still need to make marketing pages for our applications. In .NET 9, they released a new feature. Stop, John. Try not to laugh. Uh, there's a new feature to implement static rendering in a Blazor application for just a single component. This is actually really handy for something like adding a marketing page to your app that, you don't wanna delay the loading of a marketing page to wait for, say, like the .NET framework to load or for a SignalR connection. When there's no interactivity on that page, you're not, doing any kind of deep filtering and sorting or uh, filling out web forms or anything like that. Typical, you have a page that you want to display your product and some marketing information
Right.
on. There's not like a bunch of widgets to click on. So to solve that problem, in .NET 8, we had the ability to render the entire site as a static application, which isn't really that useful in this day and age, in my opinion. I think most sites have some interactivity, if not a majority of the pages being interactive. So they turned this on its head, and instead of having the entire app be static, you can enable interactivity and then go to a component and say, exclude this from interactivity. And now this page is kind of a dumb, um, not front endified page. So it's just going to be a static HTML page at this point. And
All right.
that is the perfect place for, say, a marketing page. And if you're not the kind of person that's great at designing marketing pages, here's the good segue, John. We actually
Yes.
have a product that we just launched about 6 months ago for doing just that. So if you're building Angular, React, Blazor applications, and you want to add a marketing page or other things to your application, we have various templates that you can add on to your Telerik product subscription or Kendo UI product subscription. And you get these nice pre-built templates that you can use. And there's quite a few of them in here. So we got various like landing pages that you can build or just download and use with the subscription. So there's like this
Okay.
nice banking page. Get a live preview here. So it's got a nice look and feel to it already. Some menu items at the top,
Yes.
and then each of these widgets that's in here, these building blocks, are included with you get all of the page, widgets, building blocks to add in, but some of these are already added out of the box. You can see what they look like in the context of this design. So if you need something like that, this is something we have. And a page like this,
Nice.
you could use that non-interactive mode because there's nothing on this that we're really doing a bunch of interactive stuff with. Like if you're, you know, displaying a bunch of links to click on, who needs interactivity, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's a feature that is part of .NET 9 in Blazor that I'm looking forward to taking advantage of. I think it's long overdue to have something like that.
You know what? I just realized that we forgot to mention something very important, which is .NET Conf is coming up. That's on
Oh
November
yeah,
12th and 14th. My apologies. I should have included that. But we've talked about .NET 9 enough times. We might as well mention it. So there you go.
yeah. This
It's
is
coming up
coming
next
up.
month. We got .NET Conf, your virtual event, a
Yeah, can
showcase
we?
to the stars of the .NET world.
Can you believe we're here already? It's just like we were talking about .NET 8 being launched
I
just the
know.
other day, and now we're at
Yes.
.NET 9. And the holidays are going to come shortly after that, and we'll be doing a best of 2024 or worst of 2024 pretty soon.
Yes.
So we've got .NET 9 Keynote. What's new in Aspire? I think that's going to be a hot topic for this year's .NET Conf. And of course, the AI bingo card space should be marked as a free space because you're going to hear that a few times. What's new in C# 13? There's some nice stuff we've been highlighting throughout the last few months on this show in regards to C# 19. What's new in Blazor and ASP.NET, Maui updates in .NET 9. So it's a lot of stuff here, and that's 2 days worth of content. And of course, you have
Yep.
the community stuff, and it starts running into its full 24-hour conference at that point. So there's new sessions every half hour, I believe, overnight. They run this thing all day and all night long. Oh, there's an extra day this time? There's a day 4 this time. Didn't realize they had expanded it that far.
I know.
So 4 days of content now
I
for the
know.
.NET 9 launch.
You know what? You know what, Ed? I feel bad. I sent you a link in the private chat there of StreamYard, but I feel bad. We're doing an event ourselves called Shipped, and we only have 2 days of content. So, yeah. I
Better
mean,
get on top of it.
I know. Well,
Everybody
this is
else
the
is
week
for 4
after. So
days.
hang on. This is the week after. We purposely set it up this way so that we don't conflict with. We try not to conflict with anything. But this is our virtual conference. This is a 2-day event, November 20th and 21st. You can find out more by visiting octopus.com/shipped. We have all kinds of sessions there. Should be a lot of fun. If you want to hear about continuous delivery, Kubernetes, Argo, Octopus Deploy, etc., feel free to check it out. We got tons of speakers, 23 to be exact. And yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun doing our live stream on this. So there you go.
Listen to this guy using fun in containers in the same
I know.
sentence.
Come on, don't be
Who
like
are
that.
you? Who are
Well,
you,
dude,
John?
okay, yeah, Mr. Okay, let's use Llama to create a Doom clone that doesn't look anything like Doom.
Hey, no, don't
Why don't
blame
you put
me
on your
for.
VR head glass? Well, yeah, why don't you put on your VR head glasses and figure out what you want for dinner tonight?
Oh, let's try that. Let's see. Let's do a
Oh
new one.
God.
Hang on. Build me a augmented reality app that
It's gonna look like Snake.
uses. Let's see. Let's try to be specific here. What's the API for that called? Shoot, what's the XR API?
Are you talking about the vector stuff that we've been talking about?
Now, there's an XR API in the browser. WebXR. WebXR is what I
WebXR.
was thinking of. Yeah, let's use. Where did my window go? He says
Because we're really solving all the hardest
WebXR.
problems with.
Um, the app should display uh, pictures of food. Let's try to keep it simple.
This is not gonna end well.
Let's see. Let's see if we get our WebXR
You know,
implementation.
the
Of
aliens
course.
are watching us from afar. They've invented artificial intelligence and they're creating fart apps with it.
Okay, I think what we're going to end up with here is, oh,
Yes.
something went wrong. I
Yeah,
broke
something
it.
went very wrong. So
I broke it. I think by specifying an API, it went beyond its capabilities to add the dependencies. I
oh, they
think
don't have
this
a
is just
polyfill? Come
a
on.
yeah. I
Use a
think this is
polyfill.
just a clever to-do list generator. To be honest, so it's using React 90% of the time. It looks like. And if it can't pull like a simple dependency in, like things that are up on CDNs like React, then you run into stuff like this. I think I finally broke it. So that was fun while
Well,
at least it only
it's
broke for me and not for everybody. Like, could you imagine if I typed that in and like the whole thing just like went belly up for every user?
it is
Yeah,
not.
VR, yeah, more like AI and AR are equal. How about that one? Can't have one without the other. But yeah.
Oh yes, you can. Dinner, Mr. Dinner Decider.
Yeah. Hey, this is the
Soup and
$1,000,000.
salad. Soup and salad. Here we go.
This is the $1,000,000 app idea right here, John. This will save families from turmoil in
Sure, sure.
uh in fighting. So we've got quesadillas and roasted vegetables tonight. That's what we're having here.
They're in quesadillas. What are you talking about?
Are they though?
Yeah,
Quesadillas are just cheese and meat, right?
and vegetables, aren't they?
Usually it's just cheese.
Oh,
And
okay.
not a
Well,
quesadilla.
maybe if you
Okay,
go
let's
to
try
Taco
again.
Bell or whatever Mexican you're having, I don't know, American Mexican.
I mean,
Sorry,
the app, I don't know how to get back to the code
I like
page.
Mexican. I could go
I
for
wish
some
I knew.
Mexican.
What if I take this out? Will that bring me back? This was on the share side. Oh, wow. That page cannot be found,
Uh-oh.
nor could it be themed.
Nor could it be rendered. Chrome 130, curse you.
Apparently there's no way to re-engineer or reverse engineer these. So I'll never
Eh.
get the source code for that again.
Your ideas will forever be locked in your head.
Yeah.
Those wonderful dinner decider type ideas. Those things that are just eating neurons for breakfast.
I totally couldn't go back and prompt this again to make it 5 seconds. But yeah, have a good one, folks. Take care.